Imagine you come across with two kids called Amber and Annabelle. Amber is a generous girl who likes to share her food. One day she tried a little ice cream and thought it was terrible, so gave it to her mom. Annabelle is a picky girl who only eats unhealthy junk food. She shared some of her ice cream with her mom because she thought it was really delicious. Both scenarios ended as their moms enjoyed eating some refreshing ice cream. If you wanted to judge which kid is better comparing these two scenarios, you might find it a little difficult given that the behavior of these kids are not consistent with their provided character. When autistic young adolescents are presented with these scenarios and asked to make a decision on which kid is better or worse, they have a tendency of relying more on behavior-based information and ignoring the character-based ones, whereas their non-autistic counterparts consider both types of information. To evaluate the reasoning differences, we ran two experiments with participants from the general population. Our participants first self-reported their levels of autistic traits on a questionnaire, then made forced choice decisions and provided justifications on several pages of comparisons like this one. We also created a non-social equivalent to these scenarios with scenarios asking about running shoes, laptops, or cars to explore whether people differ in their reasoning strategies depending on the type of the relationship, either social or non-social. We called our task the comparison task. The scenarios in this task were presented in a structure of three lines. First line is always about character-based information, second behavior-based, and the last one is the outcome of this scenario. Scenarios followed either an inconsistent like this one or a consistent structure like this one. We wondered whether the reasoning judgments will be different depending on the domain type and whether these differences will correlate with the levels of autistic traits. We found that people tended to give more behavior-based responses to non-social scenarios than social ones. When it comes to the relationship with the levels of autistic traits, we first confirmed our hypothesis by showing that higher levels of autistic traits predict a reliance on behavior-based information when making judgments on a person, but not on an object. However, when the experiment was run with a bigger sample, requested justifications and was run alone, there was no significant relationship. When it comes to the justifications, there was a surprising significant negative correlation between the level of autistic traits and the proportion of justifications that relied exclusively on behavior-based information in non-social domain. The relationship between rationality and the level of autistic traits is complex. It's not clear whether participants who self-reported their levels of autistic traits used different strategies for reasoning or whether the experiment setting and requesting for justifications have influenced our results. We further explored the relationship between rationality and autism by recruiting autistic people and non-autistic people for a between-group comparison.